Hi everyone. We read A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee during our last video, and during this video I want to do some comprehension questions with you to see what you remember from our book. So I just took a couple sheets of scrap paper and I just made like signs to hold up so I can show the answer. So I have A, B, C, and D. You can do the same thing, or you can just say it out loud. All right, are you ready? Okay, what is the main character's name in this story? So, in our story, A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee, who is the main character? Is it A, Mr. Hamilton, B, Spot, C, Mr. McGee, or D, Tony? So let's say one more time. Who is the main character in A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee? A, Mr. Hamilton, B, Spot, C, Mr. McGee, or D, Tony? You can say it out loud or hold up your sign if you have one. And the correct answer is C, Mr. McGee was our main character. The title is named after him too, so that was a pretty big hint. Okay, who does the man bring on his camping trip? Okay, so we know the man is Mr. McGee. So who does Mr. McGee bring on this camping spree? Is it A, his dog Lee, B, his mom Bee, or C, his dog D? So who did he bring with him? A, the dog Lee, B, his mom named Bee, or C, his dog named D? Okay, the correct answer was C, his dog D, his little spotted dog D. Okay, question 3. How does their campsite get ruined? How does their campsite get ruined? Is it A, the man forgot to park the car, B, a bear spotted a marshmallow, C, the dog ate the tent, or D, they forgot to put out the campfire? So we have A, the man forgot to park the car, B, a bear spotted the marshmallow, C, the dog ate the tent, or D, they forgot to put out the campfire. So how does their campsite get ruined? The correct answer is B. A bear spotted a marshmallow, it sniffed it and wanted a treat, and from there things went downhill. Okay, next question. Why didn't the camper fall over the waterfall? Is it A, it got stuck on a rock, B, it wasn't in the water, or C, the camper did fall over the waterfall? So it says, why didn't the camper fall over the waterfall? A, it got stuck on a rock, B, it wasn't in the water, or C, it did fall over the waterfall? Our correct answer is A, it got stuck on a rock. Let's move on to our next question. Where was Mr. McGee headed on his camping trip? A, the big city, B, the beach, C, the countryside, or D, the mountains? So where was he heading? Mr. McGee and his little dog D were driving to D, the mountains. How are you doing so far? Have you gotten them all right? Okay. This one's kind of tricky. I'll read the page to you again, and then we will decide what our answer is. So let me go back in the book. And here's the page. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. McGee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. So, what did Mr. McGee and Dee not need to build the campfire? Okay, so they used three things. Which one of these things didn't they use to build the fire? A, pine cones. B, logs. C, branches. D, water. This might be an easy one. Which one of those things do you not need to build a campfire? Answer is D, water. Don't need water for a campfire. Okay, number 4. Oh, actually, I think this is more than 4. What was the bear looking for when he bumped the hitch? What was the bear looking for? A, marshmallows. B, Rice Krispie treats. C, brownies. Or D, candy. Correct answer is A. The bear was looking for marshmallows. He could smell it and he wanted a treat. Okay. Our next question. They sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. In this sentence, coals means what? Does it mean A, a cool stream? B, a cozy bed? C, a hot fire? Or D, sharp rocks? They sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. Coals means C, a hot fire is what you roast marshmallows over. You wouldn't get very far if you tried roasting marshmallows over sharp rocks or a cool stream. Okay. In the book, it says that the bear is nearsighted. What does this affect about the bear? Okay, the bear is nearsighted. Does this affect his A, smell, B, his sight, the way he sees, C, the way he walks, or D, the way he eats? He's nearsighted. So the answer is B, the way the bear sees. Remember, he can't see very well, so he was smelling the marshmallows and he ended up eating the hitch because he thought it was marshmallow. He couldn't see it. Okay, how would you describe the way that Mr. McGee and Dee felt when their camper landed back on the road? So the bear pulls them out of the waterfall and it goes rolling back down the hill, lands by the car. How do you think they felt? McGee and Dee. A, relieved. B, nervous. C, sad. Or D, disappointed. You might have a different word in mind, but which one of these do you think makes the most sense? How would you feel? The correct answer is A. They felt relieved. So glad to be back on the road, not stuck in the waterfall. How did you do? Those are all of my questions for our book, A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee. I hope you got them all right. Next up, I have a fact and opinion activity. So hang tight while I can flip my camera around and get that set up. Okay, before we do this activity, I want to review what a fact and opinion is. A fact is a statement that can be proven true. You cannot change a fact. Okay, an opinion is a statement that describes how someone or something thinks or feels. So, some key words for a fact might be dates, things that you see in science, historical events, maybe numbers. Even nonfiction books can have lots of facts. Opinion, you might hear words like I believe, I feel, most. You might see adjectives, which are describing words. You might see words that end in ER or EST. You might see the word think. Okay, so a fact, the information is true. You cannot argue with it. Okay, it's something that you can prove. You can look it up, you can experiment with it, you can test it. It might look like a newspaper or a magazine article. And then on the other hand, we have opinion, which is thoughts or something that you think or that you feel. You can argue about it, okay, but it can't be proven. Okay, somebody else might feel a different way about it. You can find it in fiction books. You can agree or disagree. You can change your mind. Okay, they're your personal feelings. So, with that being said, I picked out some fact and opinion statements from our book, A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee. I printed them out and we are just going to go through and I'll show you the statement and then you have to decide if it's a fact or an opinion. Okay, so let's do, I gotta come up with a hand motion, so give me a second. I'm gonna pause the video and then I'll go over our hand motion with you and then I will show you our statements and you can do the motion with me. Okay, our hand motion, we're gonna do some sign language. So, fact, we'll do the letter F. So it's kind of like a number 3. 3 fingers out and make a circle. So F for fact. And you can just make an O with your fist for opinion. Go ahead and practice. F for fact, O for opinion. Okay, are you ready? Our first statement. Let me zoom in and get that focused for you. Mr. McGee and his dog left their house at 7:03. Is that a fact or an opinion? That is a fact. It is proven. We can't argue that. They left at 7:03. If you said fact, you were correct. Okay, our next one. The views are fantastic. The views are fantastic. Is it a fact or an opinion? That is an opinion. Why is this an opinion? The views are fantastic. Right, somebody can disagree with you. They might think that the views aren't all that great, but you might think that they're fantastic. It can't be proven though. Okay, there's nothing as great as camping. Is that a fact or an opinion? Can you prove this? Is it a fact? Does everybody feel this way? Right, this is an opinion too. I might think that there's better things than camping, and you might think so too. But honestly, I do love camping, so I think that camping is great. But it is an opinion. I can't prove it. Okay. They set up camp high on a hill. So in our book, McGee and Dee set up camp high on a hill. Fact or opinion? That is a fact. We can prove it that they set their camp up high on a hill. Okay, our next one. The most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over the steep waterfall. So the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over the steep waterfall. Break this one up into smaller sections if you're having trouble. Pick out those key words. Remember which words I said go more towards a fact and which one go more towards an opinion. This is also an opinion. Okay, the most wonderful, remember the word most was one of our key words when we have an opinion statement, and even these adjectives too, wonderful, describing word. Okay, so this was an opinion. I might think that there's a better view or a more wonderful feature than the brook. Cannot prove that that's the best. Mr. McGee and Dee roasted marshmallows. Fact or opinion? This is a fact. That's something they did. It is in the book. I can prove it. Okay, I don't have feelings about this. It's not the way I think. They actually did this in the book. It is a fact. Okay. A bear pushed the hitch and the camper rolled away. Fact or opinion? Right, this is also a fact, okay? A bear pushed the hitch and the camper rolled away. Yes, the bear came into their camp. Yes, I can prove it, okay? Remember, he wiggled under that and it popped out, it snapped, and the camper started rolling towards the river. Okay. It was the scariest thing ever. Fact or opinion? This is an opinion. It was the scariest thing ever. Maybe to McGee and Dee. But I bet the bear would have a differing opinion. Okay, so it's how they are feeling and what they are thinking, but I cannot prove that it's the scariest thing ever. Okay. Next one. Right before they were about to fall over the edge, their camper got stuck on a rock. Fact or opinion? This is a fact. Okay? In the book, if you remember, they were getting ready to fall over the edge of the waterfall, and there was a rock, and they got stuck. So I can prove this. I can go back in the book and show you exactly where this happened. All right, our very last one. The camper rolled back down the hill. Is that a fact or an opinion? This is a fact. I can show you again in the book. The camper rolled back down the hill, and if you remember, it landed right by the car. So I can prove this. I hope you have a better understanding of fact and opinion. You can even practice this at home. Okay, you can give your own statements, maybe about dinner. Okay, give your own opinions about it as long as they're nice. And maybe even come up with some facts while you are making a recipe. You can look at the ingredients. Okay, have fun with this. I will see you next week for week 4 video. Bye everyone.